All right. Today, I would like to talk about the power structure of government. So, where governments get their power from. It should be pretty quick. I don't promise that, but it should be. So, here are our objectives. This is what I want you to know when I'm done. Read them quickly. All right. So, government authority comes from a couple different places depending on who the government is. So, in a monarchy, power is based on inheritance. So, if your parents were rulers, you get to be ruler. If your parents were not rulers, well, you don't get to be a ruler. Unless you marry into the family. I mean, that happens every once in a while. I mean, everyone's got to find their Prince Charming. Am I right? So, it's based on inheritance. In a republic, representatives are chosen by the people to run the government. And in dictatorships, control is in the hands of a single person who took over by force. So get yourself a big, strong army and go take over a country. That's how you become a dictator. Now, once you become a government, you kind of have to set up how your government's going to run. And there's three different ways to do that. There's unitary, federal, and confederal forms of government. So in a unitary system, government has full control of everything that goes on. States simply do what the federal government tells them to do. That, however, is not the kind of government we have here in the United States. We have a federal government, or a federal system, not a federal, everyone's got a federal government, but we have a federal system. And in a federal system, the federal government, the big giant government, the one that, allows you to have your powers and rights and freedoms, those guys, they share power with other governments, such as the state government and your local government. And so I chose to demonstrate this as a Venn diagram because each group has their own specific powers that is reserved specifically for them in the Constitution. But they also have some overlapping powers. So sometimes they both can make rules about certain things. But in our system here in the United States, federal government always wins. So if the federal government and a state government make a law that conflict with each other, then the federal government law or the federal law always comes out on top. And then the third form of government is a confederal system. In a confederal system, all states are equal and there's no real strong central government. I mean, there is a central government there to tie the other groups together, to give them a forum or a place to talk about their specific concerns, to see if they can come to some kind of mutual agreement. Quite often, their main link is going to be in terms of mutual support of each other in terms of military, so mutual protection. And that is typically where governments spread their power. All right, so democracy. Really, the principles of democracy. It's the kind of government we have here in the United States. We like it. It gives us choice in who leads us and where we are going as a country. We recognize individual worth. We want to promote respect for the law. We want to protect minority rights. So any group in the minority opinion, minority ethnicity, minority religion, minority whatever. We want to protect minority rights as well as allow the majority to have a say in how the country goes. But we want to make sure that the minority voices are heard as well. And overall, in a democracy, we want to promote the public good. We want to do what's best for everyone. So there's two types of democracy. There is a direct democracy in which you have people who make the laws. It's that simple. Anyone can make any laws they would like. Of course, it would have to be voted on, and if a majority of the people approve of the law, then it would become a law. But everyone has the right to make laws. However, that is not what we have here in the United States. It would take far too long to run a government where 350 million people could make any law they wanted, anytime they wanted. We would never get anything done. So what we have is called a representative democracy. You have the people who elect a representative who makes the laws for them. Now, if you don't like the representative, or the representative does things you don't like, you vote the dude out of office. And children, that is how it goes. Congratulations, you made it all the way to the end of my video. You are literally the best.